My name is Jaden.
My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the YHWHs and the Torah YouTube channel.
All right, one day we're actually going to get this together and sound really professional. But until then, this is all you have. All right, folks, how the heck are you guys doing? We are continuing on with our quest of going over the laws, statutes, and commands using a list that is... I think it's the Judaism list or something of the sort. But this list is particularly all jacked up. We've gone through it. We've cleaned up a lot of it. We'll post it when we're done, a shareable link. You guys can look at it and kind of go over it. And so we are heading off into number 130 tonight, and it starts with Deuteronomy 25:5. The widow must not remarry until the ties with her brother-in-law are removed. Actually, we did that one last time, didn't we, gentlemen?
Yes.
So we are 131. The court must fine one who seduces a maiden. Exodus 22:16.
All right. And when a man entices a maiden who is not engaged and lies with her, he shall certainly pay the bride price for her to be his wife.
All right. Well, that sounds simple enough. This is strange times because that's definitely not these days that we live in right here. There are a lot of women with children and no daddies around. None of that is occurring. What do you guys think of that?
I think that's how it should be. I think they should have to marry her and be with her.
So if it seduces a maiden, that means it was willful. She was willfully in this. So this is talking about just a normal person who ends up doing bad things with a maiden and seduces them into lying with them, and what happens?
He should have to pay the price. I mean, if they end up laying together, they both should have to live with each other for the rest of their lives. That was the one choice they had, the one time they had. They did it, and that's what happened. Right,
and so basically, if you lie with somebody in the kingdom of Yah, like this, we are to marry them and to... we're exposed. You know, you just can't do what we do today and call it okay. All right, 132. The rapist must marry the maiden. Deuteronomy 22:29.
All right, start in verse 28. It says, when a man finds a girl who is a maiden, who is not engaged, and he seizes her and lies with her, and they are found out, then the man who lay with her shall give the girl's father 50 pieces of silver, and she is to be his wife. Because he has humbled her, he is not allowed to put her away all his days.
All right, well, this is very interesting. Kate, do you have thoughts on this?
It's definitely a very wild thing, right?
I don't know about the whole rapist thing. I mean, if we're talking like the rapist of today...
It sounds like they have found out. It sounds like they were both had consent.
Yeah, I think so, because, I mean, you could go back to when they took out the entire city of Shechem because they defiled the daughter, Dinah. And so they literally took out the entire town. They killed them all.
Yeah, everybody. Rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. In fact, it was Levi was given props. Simon. Yeah, he was given blessings for doing that and cleaning up the land. So that's how our Creator thinks, is things like that. All right, so let's head into and again, I guess the rapist isn't like a rapist of today. It must be like a boyfriend or something of the sort. But I mean, once you do the deed, you must marry the person. 133. He must not divorce her. We did that one too,
it says,
right?
Yeah, he's with her. Okay. She lies there. She's stuck with her.
Okay, so yeah, and that is your wife. So there you go. Think about that. 134. The slanderer must remain married to his wife. Deuteronomy 22:19. It also looks for 135 as well. He must not divorce her. All right. So what's going on?
And okay, let's see. In verse 8:17 says, and see, he has made abusive charges against her, saying, I did not find your daughter a maiden, and yet these are the proofs of my daughter's maidenhood. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city. And the elders of that city shall take that man and punish him, and fine him 100 pieces of silver, and give them to the father of the young woman, because he has brought an evil name on a maiden of Israel, and she is to be his wife. He is not allowed to put her away all his days.
Yeah, you know, that poor maiden, that poor lady, she's no longer a maiden, I would say. But yet again, this is the kingdom this is how Yah's rules would be. And so if you, in a proper world, this is a strange topic, everyone, so we're just kind of trying to work our way through this one. So there would be a certificate of marriage, per se. And that certificate of marriage is actually like... your consecration bed sheets. And so if you go and you do some evil against your wife and you call her out like this, then there is proof of consummation. And so let's move on to that one. Let's get out of here. And you can't divorce her. And, you know, if she should, I don't know. She's not going to be very happy about this dude for a long time.
I mean, if you don't live with this dude after he like called you out in front of everyone, there's some problems.
Yeah, you have a rough
But
marriage.
he has to pay 100 shekels too. His father-in-law. So.
Yeah, definitely. But that's not enough for calling the daughter out.
That's a lifetime of shame.
It's terrible. 136. To take procedures against a suspected adulteress.
So this is like the entire chapter, but to keep it short, if the man had a spirit of jealousy and suspected his wife was cheating on her, he would take her before the priest and he would give her some nasty drink or something that would make her swell up. And if she was cheating, if not, she wouldn't swell up. So she would drink, it would run right through her. It was perfectly fine, and he would have to pay something and basically never be able to put her away again. He would never be able to divorce her because he did that. So the verse here, which is Numbers 5:30, is, or when a spirit of jealousy comes upon a man and he becomes jealous on his wife, then he shall make the woman stand before Yahuwah, and the Kohen shall do to her all this. But the man shall be clear from wickedness, but the woman bear her wickedness, and she would bear her wickedness if she cheated on the man.
All right, so again, this is honestly, it feels to me kind of lopsided here because I mean, dudes are not exactly like prim and proper, and there are dudes that look away from their married wife, and she would be, you know, there's a lot of divorces and a lot of arguments in all sorts of relationships because of things of this nature. You know, you suspect somebody who's doing something and you know, they don't have your attention, and this is the problem when you take your eyes off your family, is you run into problems like this. All right, so that leads into like so this is weird though. I mean, so basically if you think your wife is cheating on you, you're going to take her before the priest. He has this, you know, terrible toxin, and it's somehow, if she's innocent, it does nothing, and if she's guilty, it gives her like a horrible stomach ache or something.
Leave it to the powers of Yah. Make you question how that one works.
Yeah, these are the laws of Yah, and some of them are interesting, right? All right, so that takes us to Numbers 5:15 for the next two, 137 and 138. A jealous husband must take his wife to the priest and not put oil on her meal offering, and a suspected wife is to be accompanied by a meal offering that contains no frankincense. Okay, what in the world?
We'll start in 14. And a spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he becomes jealous of his wife, who has defiled herself. Or a spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he becomes jealous of his wife, although she has not defiled herself. Then the man shall bring his wife to the Kohen, and he shall bring the offering for her 1/10 of an ephah of barley. He is not to pour oil on it or put frankincense on it, because it is a grain offering of jealousy, and an offering for bringing wickedness to remembrance.
All right, so the first question I have for you guys is, why is there even a command like this?
To keep the land clean, holy.
Well, it would probably be to deal with problems that they were having at the time.
I mean, well, the spirit of jealousy is obviously a thing, so I mean, there's obviously like a demon or a ruach that is there, like when you can feel that you got cheated on, you're like, something's wrong with my family, I can sense it, and you're like, are you cheating on me, or we'll take you to the priest.
But what if he's right? Is it a spirit of jealousy, or is he just he figured things out?
And then I don't know. It just says a spirit of jealousy. It could be a ruach, which is from Yah, or it could be like a demon of jealousy. I mean, jealousy is not a great thing, but I can understand the whole jealousy thing when you find out you're getting cheated on, and that's probably a heartbreaker. That's probably a terrible thing.
Yeah, and that's something here in our family. We keep everything real close. We don't have Facebook accounts. We don't have Twitter accounts. We don't have any of this trash that would take our eyes off the ball, which is essentially our family and keeping our family together, making sure people are happy, making sure the family is functioning as it should. Okay, so this is crazy. So anyway, she has a meal offering that contains no frankincense, and I'm sure the priests deal with this stuff. And I think these laws are here simply because they men and women have issues. And so if you didn't have a way to somehow deal with this with a law, then you might end up with murder, the women and men, or something far worse. So that's just one way of dealing with marital issues. 138, a suspected wife is to be accompanied by a meal offering that contains no frankincense. I already said that. 139, not to have relations with your mother. This sounds simple enough, but let's talk about this. Leviticus 18:7.
The negatives of your father or the nakedness of your mother, you do not uncover. She is your mother. You do not uncover her nakedness.
Yeah, she's your mother. You do not uncover her nakedness. Sounds simple enough. Okay.
I don't even think we need to explain it.
We don't need to explain this, but it is there for a reason, right? And these are what people don't understand, is that if we did not... some people would say this is like maybe common sense, right? Or maybe it's your upbringing. But there are strange families where indeed the children become something far more than children, where it's not good. And so the law by our Creator is not to have relations with your mother. You're not to see your parents naked. And we always go to that one by default. Everyone's like, the laws of God are on the cross. That there's nothing more. And
I have this law.
Yeah, 139. Here you go. So if the laws of our Creator are on the cross, does that mean you can have relations with your mother? That's why we have to really understand what we're saying when we're saying that the laws of God are no more. The world would just be totally screwed up if we didn't have this, and it is screwed up because people don't have this. So 140. Here we go again. Not to have relations with your father's wife. Leviticus 18:8.
The nakedness of your father's wife you do not uncover. It is your father's nakedness.
Yes. So again, something very, and here's something. In these families, there were multiple wives,
right?
And they had multiple children, and the children, in fact, there was a problem. Who? Reuben got what happened?
He saw Bilhah bathing just like David. No wonder they came from the same family line.
Same evil lie. Get your eyes off the bathing.
Anyways, and he couldn't control himself and decided he was going to lay with his father's wife, and that's probably why we have this law.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he got, what happened to him because of this?
He got cursed. He got the priestly blessing, the kingly blessing, and the birthright taken away from him.
Yeah, and the blessing, his blessing was like really bad. It's like, was it a blessing or was it more like a double-handed backslap? Okay, here we go. Let's roll into this, and here we go. Well, these are why the laws are important. Don't have relations with your father's wife. 141. Not to have relations with your sister.
The nakedness.
18:9.
The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether born at home or elsewhere. Their nakedness you do not uncover.
There you go. Don't look at your sister naked. Again, this comes back to the laws of God. If they're on the cross, are you okay with this? If you're not okay with this, then why? What set of guidelines would you actually have that said things like this, right? It is important that we don't have relationships with our sisters and brothers and things of this nature, right? It just brings straight evil, and there's nothing good that ever comes out of this. 142. Not to have relations with your father's wife's daughter. Leviticus 18:11.
The nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, their nakedness you do not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Don't get crazy with your in-laws, and don't none of this. You don't have those kind of relations. You keep it a healthy relationship, which is not with your family.
It should be hi-bye.
Yeah, hi-bye. This is nothing more. Okay. Did we do this one? Not to have your father's wife's daughter. We just did that one, right?
Yeah, we're on
not 143.
146.
146.
Son's daughter. We just did. Yeah, 1810 is all the same.
Okay. Yeah. So 1810. I don't think we ran through these yet. Not to have a relationship with your daughter's daughter. Right, guys? So these are all the same things. Don't go with your son's daughter, your daughter, right.
Anything that should be called a daughter, don't do it.
Like or family tree, stay away from the family tree, right?
Don't make it a pretzel. It's got to go in a straight line.
Okay, not to marry, so 146, not to marry a woman and her daughter. Okay, so again, this is, there's no polygamy issues here because you're not supposed to marry a woman and her daughter. It would not say marry two women. It just says do not marry a woman and her daughter.
That would probably be really weird.
That would be odd. That would just be very, very odd. Not to be done. Yah says not to do it. This is why. So it would be odd. 147, not to marry a woman and her son's daughter. Leviticus 18:17.
The nakedness of a woman and her daughter you do not uncover, nor do you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are her relatives.
Yeah,
wickedness.
Yeah, stay out of the family tree.
Don't marry her. Don't marry her grandkids.
Yeah, don't go to small towns in different places. Yeah, keep the water supply, not close by. Okay, here we go. Not to have, not to marry a woman and her daughter's daughter. Not to have relations with your father's sister. Leviticus 18:12. No aunt, right? That would be an aunt.
Yeah.
No aunt love. The
nakedness of your father's sister you do not uncover. She is your father's flesh.
Yes, the father's flesh, right? That's the family tree rule.
Yes.
If it's in the family tree, stay away from it. It's not your tree. Go find a new tree.
Family tree. It's not for the.
Go plant your own tree. Okay, or go get something else. Not in the tree. Okay, 149. Not to have relations with your father's sister. We just did that one. Not to have relations with your mother's sister. Same thing. Leviticus 18:13.
Your other aunt. The nakedness of your mother's sister you do not uncover, for she is your mother's flesh. The other side of the family, still a no.
Still the tree. adultery. 151, not to have relations with your father's brother's wife. Same father. Okay, brothers.
Aunt.
Yeah, well, it'd be the same bloodline too. It'd be even close. So Leviticus 18:14.
The nakedness of your father's brother you do not uncover. You do not approach his wife. She is your aunt.
Yes. Yes. Does it say she's your aunt?
Yeah.
It really says she's your aunt. Okay. Yeah. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
152. Not to have relations with your son's wife.
The nakedness of your daughter-in-law you do not uncover. She is your son's wife. You do not uncover her nakedness.
And guys, these seem simple enough, right? But the people have actually tossed these on the cross, and they say they don't exist anymore. Oh, that's for the old people. And if that's the case, no wonder they live such kinky, freaky lives, right? It shouldn't be like this. Okay, here we go. Not to have relations with your brother's wife, same father and or mother, same thing. In the trees. Leviticus 18:16.
Okay, the nakedness of your brother's wife you do not uncover. It is your brother's nakedness. Don't.
I hate to be a surprise, but you shouldn't do that either.
Yep. Not to have relations with your wife's sister in Leviticus 18:18.
And do not take a woman as a rival to her sister to uncover her nakedness while the other is still alive.
That's because
Okay.
Rachel and Leah.
Yeah.
That's specifically out of them.
That probably became from Rachel and Leah. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a fight. But if your brother's wife dies, you're supposed to take her.
Yes. And so what's the deal with Rachel and Leah? What was the gig?
They kind of fought over each other.
Kind of got ripped off.
One wasn't as loved as much as the other. And
Their dad was all screwed in the head.
Dad's like, well, you worked for me for 7 years. I'm not done with you yet. Take this one, and then you get one after another 7 days, but then you gotta work for me for another 7 years. So here's 14 years, sucker.
Yeah, this guy's a tricker. He's a trickery guy, and then
Still ended up
at
getting
the end,
completely robbed in the
he
end.
did. He did.
Lost his idols, lost all his cows.
Yeah, everything. They lost it all. That's the way it is. Okay, where are we at? 155. 155. A man does to have relations with a beast. Leviticus 18:23. Let's do it. I mean, it's simple enough. Okay, and 156. A woman must not have relations with the beast either. Okay,
Always
let's
has
hit it.
relations with the beast.
all right. 23.
Yes, 18:23.
All right. And do not have intercourse with any beast to defile yourself. And a woman does not stand before a beast to mate with it. It is a perversion.
Yeah, and then it is perversion.
It is a perversion.
It's like, you don't even have to think about this. It's
Family's
actually-
off limits, animals are off limits.
That tree's off limits, and so is that tree. Not your tree. You know, if it has fur, that's not right. Okay, so here we go. A woman must not have relations with the beast. Okay, 157. Not to have homosexual relations. Leviticus 18.
With your father.
What do you mean?
There's down one, two.
Oh, is there one?
Two.
Oh, okay.
With your father.
Okay, 158. Oh, this is obvious. Yes. So let's okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 1822 first.
Sorry,
They're out of order though.
Yeah, they are. That's why I said that.
And do not lie with a male as with a woman. It is abomination.
Wow.
Okay, if Leviticus 18:7.
Leviticus 18:7 says, the nakedness of your father, the nakedness of your father, and the nakedness of your mother, you do not uncover. She is your mother. You do not uncover her nakedness.
I suppose that would be homosexual relations with your father.
Yes, it's the
Don't
nakedness
do
of
it.
your
That's
father.
just wild.
That's tree.
Like,
That's that forsaken tree.
the fact that there were laws for this, man, like, really, what's happening, man?
Well, prior to that, I mean, Adam and Eve, and then we had
Yeah, but
kids, and it
Adam
was.
and Steve.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Man and woman, he created man and woman. Where did they go wrong?
Yes, where do we go wrong? But you know what? You have to understand. There's a lot of people out there who have chosen that path, and Yah still loves them. Yah still loves them, but he doesn't like this. And
But it's an abomination in his eyes.
It is an abomination in his eyes. Okay, 159. Not to have homosexual relationships with your father's brother. Okay, I guess we need to write this one out. 18:14 Leviticus.
Nakedness of your father's brother. You do not uncover. You do not approach his wife. She is your aunt.
Okay, here we go. 160. Which is this the last one?
Yeah, 160.
Okay, that's good because then it gets into the crazy one. So I guess stay tuned to next time.
Oh, man.
We'll go over this one. Okay, 160. Not to have relations with a married woman. Seems simple enough. Leviticus 18:20.
And do not have intercourse with the wife of your neighbor to defile yourself with her.
Yeah, absolutely. They're bad things. You could get killed. You could get STDs. You could get lots of problems. Like the guy could come home and really hurt you bad. It's not to be done. You're a home wrecker. When you do evil things like that, you're wrecking your marriage. You're wrecking your home. You're wrecking all sorts of
Wrecking
stuff.
their house.
And wrecking their house. Absolutely. You are totally destroying another marriage. You're going to be accountable on Judgment Day. And there will every idle deed that is done, regardless or if not, of whatever your repentance level is, we have to review it one day when we'll stand before our Creator naked, and we will discuss this, and we will be shown this. And so we don't want to do things of this nature, because these are the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, and they're very important to Him. And as you can see, there's really nothing that's like totally out of whack. There's nothing. Like all this stuff, yeah, you don't want to have relations with a beast.
None of that is too hard.
Yeah, stay out of your imagine if your family started intermarrying and all of a sudden you had like these crazy mongoloid boys, or like they're like somewhat retarded because you're like polluting the gene line. I mean, you can only pollute the gene line so long before the kids come out funky. So,
all right.
This is a deep conversation.
We are getting canceled.
We're going to be canceled.
That's a strike.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining in with us as we go through these. And what do you guys have? Parting words for everybody?
Read your Bibles. I mean, if any of you are struggling with this, really take a deep time to think about your future in the kingdom. It is not worth your place in the kingdom for this.
Yeah, you don't want to do this. Relations with a donkey or something, that doesn't make the kingdom. None of that makes the kingdom. Don't, the woman bathing next door, that's taking your eyes off your family. That's not worth being an adulterer and creating an adulterer and going down that road and doing evil. So the kingdom path is a path of righteousness, and the righteousness will be found in the Torah. This is what righteousness is. When you guys walk this walk, this is how we become righteous, and this is in the eyes of our Creator. There's no other way. There's no other definition of it. And so when it says our Creator is holy, so He wants you to be holy, that's what He means, is walk the law, statutes, and commands as we should. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for listening in.
Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.
All right, bye, everyone.